Zion Williamson is entering year 7 with 0 playoff minutes logged. I just got sick.
A belly. Like when he took a deep breath, his belly bounced. That kind of belly. I mean, damn.
Zion's a bust. When he's healthy, he's played, he's a stud. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But it's been years now. He's not healthy.
What if the most unstoppable talent in basketball stopped himself? This is the insane downfall of Zion Williamson, the guy who had everything and might throw it all away. He had the body of a superhero and the hype that any NBA player ever wanted. But now 6 years later, no playoff games, there are more missed games than played with the weight of his contract. And fans just wonder what happened to him? Was it the injuries, or the weight, or maybe the lack of discipline? Or is Zion Williamson just another talent who never grew up? A boy was born in Spartanburg, South Carolina with thunder in his thighs to conquer the world of NBA. And his name was Zion Williamson. By the time he was in 8th, he was a local legend who was well equipped with the basic lessons of basketball. By his junior year, he was a basketball supernova. Students skipped class to see his windmill dunks. By senior year, he wasn't just a prospect, but was a prophecy. And he didn't think twice before he chose Duke to test his chances, because they were the mecca of college basketball. He didn't just meet expectations, he dedicated him to them. He shot 68% from the field. He averaged 22 and 9. He won ACC Player of the Year as a freshman and posted the highest player efficiency rating in college history. And then the Nike incident happened 36 seconds into the biggest game of the year, and it was Duke versus UNC. In the audience, there was Barack Obama, and suddenly Zion's foot exploded through his shoe and sprained his knee. He missed 6 games. At the beginning, the injury seemed minor, but it was his first crack in the porcelain. And then in 2019, when it was the right time for him to hit the floor of the New Orleans Pelicans, something unfortunate happened. Just weeks after trading away superstar Anthony Davis, the New Orleans Pelicans were in search of gold, and the world believed it was Zion Williamson, the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft lottery. A generational talent. People said that he is the next LeBron, the face of a new NBA era, by the time Zion was a sensation. He was a viral phenomenon who became a college destroyer before stepping foot on a pro court. At times, he was compared with LeBron James, Charles Barkley, and the insane Blake Griffin. His arrival set New Orleans on fire. Jerseys sold out before he played a single minute. Season ticket sales were insane. Then came Summer League, which was Zion's unofficial NBA debut. He played like nothing else to catch the attention of everyone who was there present. In just one half of basketball, he found his way to 11 points and shocked Las Vegas. Summer League gave all the limelight that he wanted to impress the empire of the NBA. But just like that, the curtain fell. He hurt his knee again. One Summer League game and done. The crowd lost its mind and his future just got dimmed like that dot. And in the later days, it was announced that he would miss the rest of Summer League. And such a generational debut got delayed, but that was not an end for him. Zion Williamson entered the NBA weighing 285 pounds. When he stepped into the NBA spotlight, he didn't just arrive, but crashed through the door. At 6'6", that made him the second heaviest player in the league, just behind 7'4" Boban Marjanovic. Behind all those roaring, everyone saw one problem, that he was too heavy. And his nature of playing was too challenging for it. He used to fly and slide through the defenders, which made it dangerous. And Zion's earlier injuries were taking a toll on Zion like nothing else. Every takeoff and every landing put immense stress on his knees, ankles, and feet. And that is when the fans noticed a difference in the way he likes. It was like a penguin, they said. And pretty soon his knees started to bend inward, screaming instability. From day one, his body was at war with his game. And soon enough, people started to say, he needs to slim down, that weight won't hold, can his joints survive this and whatnot. To make matters more complicated, his mother was his nutritionist. In a league filled with elite chefs, dietitians, and trainers, Zion's body was being managed like it was still high school. To be honest, the NBA didn't need Zion to lose 40 pounds overnight. It wanted him to evolve to respect the toll of his own talent, but he preferred to remain the same perhaps. Then came January 22nd, 2020. The date circled on every NBA calendar. Zion Williamson was finally making his professional debut. After months of rehab, caution, and frustration, This player was about to step onto an NBA court for real, and for him, it was not just a game, it was his time to prove the world what he is capable of. And his fans didn't come to watch basketball, they wanted to see a prophecy unfold. For 3 quarters, Zion was literally quiet and he was struggling to find rhythm. He looked so stressed and unsure of his footing. He was as if the whole hype put an unwanted pressure on him. Soon, netizens started to say he was overhyped for no reason. And then came the 4th quarter. In just 9 minutes, Zion unleashed the beast within himself, and the league was definitely not ready for it. He drilled a 3, followed by and then another, then one more. 4 straight triples, more than anyone had ever seen from him at Duke or in high school. In the span of 3 minutes and 8 seconds, he scored 17 consecutive points. Fans started to lose their mind for real. Social media exploded, and they were not witnessing a player debuting. It was literally an explosion. He finished the night with 22 points in just 18 minutes of play, one of the most electrifying rookie debuts in NBA history. But then, with 5 minutes remaining and the Pelicans surging, the coaching staff did something that made the fans mad. They pulled him. But it didn't matter, because in 1 quarter, Zion reminded everyone why he was the most hyped player since LeBron James. Not with some power move, but with poise, range, and a killer instinct. It was as if all the pressure had built up for months, and in just a few minutes he exploded. For that moment, he was everything we were promised, and the league had no choice but to take notice of him. But soon enough, the next challenge came at his door. The COVID-19 pandemic turned the NBA on its head. Seasons were paused and protocols were enforced. And when basketball returned, nothing was the same. It was an isolated basketball lab where no fans screamed, where every wall was empty. For some players, it was a chance to reset. For Zion Williamson, it was a disaster for sure. When Zion re-entered the scene, fans expected him to pick up where he left off, flying high and dominating. But something was off. He looked heavy, slow, and flat out of shape. In Game 1, he didn't grab a single rebound, which shocked everyone in and around the world. It just got concluded as a 7-point performance against the Clippers, literally an identity crisis. Then came the memes, Tubby Zion, Zion Buffettson, and much more. The internet turned on him like nothing else. The Pelicans, expected to make a serious playoff push, got trashed. They finished 2-6 in the bubble and missed the postseason entirely. Zion played just 15 minutes per game in 3 contests before being forgotten by the fans. The team that looked dominant with him earlier in the season now looked confused with him back. This wasn't the return fans had hoped for. It was the first real warning sign that maybe Zion's biggest opponent wasn't another player, it was his own body, and sometimes his effort too. If Zion's return was a disaster, then year 2 was the rebirth, a show of what made him the most electrifying player in years. In the 2020-21 season, Zion averaged 27 points per game on an insane 61% shooting from the field. He wasn't just scoring, he was scoring in a way rarely seen in NBA history. The only other player to average similar numbers with that kind of efficiency was prime Shaquille O'Neal. He was not just playing anymore. He was raising through defenders, connecting passes, running point forward sets. In February, he was named an All-Star starter, becoming the 4th youngest player ever to earn that honor. And suddenly, whatever happened in the early game was conveniently forgotten by the NBA. He went on an incredible 25-game streak of scoring 20 or more points while shooting over 50% from the field. Only Shaq in 2001 had ever done that before. The phrase "Zeus and sneakers" grabbed attention, and it was the best way to describe what we were seeing. But then, just like that, the storm stopped. In early May, Zion fractured the ring finger on his left hand while going up for a rebound. He missed the final 6 games of the season. The Pelicans, clinging to playoff hopes, collapsed without him. Once again, the postseason happened without their franchise player. And worse, it wasn't clear if the problem was bad luck, bad conditioning, or both. Year 2 proved that his talent was still undeniable. But it also confirmed a deeper truth, that the Zion experience would always come with risk. And for the Pelicans, it was becoming harder to ignore just how high risk it is to rely on their pro player Zion Williamson. And year 3 was supposed to be the breakout. Zion was coming off a historic season, the league was ready, and the fans were hungry. Then David Griffin, the team's executive vice president, stepped up to the microphone with a strange calmness and said, Zion had undergone foot surgery in the off-season. The surgery had taken place during the summer, apparently while Zion was working out, and nobody knew about it. But Griffin promised that he will be ready for the regular season. But he was gone. Not just from the court, but from the city. After weeks passed, photos of Zion leaked on the internet where he was looking too heavy. Reports claimed he had gained 300 pounds, and soon people started to realize that he is a detached team member who is not showing leadership. Just like that, his story was shaping into something darker. New Orleans is a city built on love, and it is also a city that loves its sports heroes until they give it a reason not to. Zion gave them plenty. The injuries were one thing, but the fans forgive those. But it was the attitude that they couldn't tolerate. The silence, distance, and disinterest irritated them. He didn't attend home games and didn't cheer on his team from the bench. And New Orleans, they noticed it, and the dream of Zion had officially gone dead. And things weren't good back at his home. Rumors circulated that his family was of the opinion that he should attend rehab, and at the same time, Pelicans were losing games and losing hope. Zion was supposed to be the chosen one, the guy who saved the franchise after Anthony Davis walked out. Instead, he was giving them back-to-back challenges and headaches to deal with. He had yet to play a single game that season, and Pelicans were literally falling short in points. And the guy who was supposed to carry the weight of the franchise, he was carrying a different kind of weight. There's a concept in sports medicine known as the injury spiral. When a single problem triggers a chain reaction that becomes harder and harder to escape. For Zion Williamson, this spiral didn't just exist, but it was his reality. It was a vacuous cycle where he was too heavy, so he got hurt. But once he got hurt, he couldn't train. And since he couldn't train, he gained even more weight. The heavier he got, the more pressure he put on his knees, his ankles, and his feet. Then there were more injuries. Each time Zion tried to escape it, something pulled him back. Even when he'd show signs of getting in shape, this loop pulled him back, and it took a toll on him mentally. And at the same time, the clock kept ticking. Ja Morant won the Most Improved Player, and Garland became an All-Star. When RJ Barrett was battling in Madison Square Garden, Zion was trending on Twitter for all the wrong reasons, and this was never the plan. He was supposed to be a force that would find a way for his team, and every day that passed, fans began to wonder, could he ever get out? And no one had the answer, not even Zion. 6 years into Zion Williamson's NBA career, the numbers were not the good kind. He missed around 60% of games. He didn't appear in a single playoff. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Zion was supposed to carry the torch into the next NBA era. LeBron made the finals by year 4, and Steph won a title in year 6. D led the Thunder to the finals in year 5, and even players outside that tier like Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, and Ja Morant made it into the playoffs. And Zion? Still waiting for his postseason debut. Zion Williamson was no Anthony Bennett or not Kwame Brown. When Zion played, he scored like a beast. And that's what makes this story hurt more. Zion had everything. A 6'6", 285-pound body that could take up anything. The kind of precision that any player would crave for. But talent, no matter how generational, can't survive without discipline. And that's what Zion has lacked from day one. Consistency was never a thing for Zion. Instead, his career has been a series of restarts, lay, pause, injury, rehab, hope, disappointment, and again the same loop. That's the tragedy. And just like that, he became the face of unfulfilled promise, instead of being the face of the league. Despite everything, the injuries, the weight jokes, the missed games, the New Orleans Pelicans never lost their hope on Zion. They still believed in him and his potential. On July 6th, 2022, he signed one of the most paying contracts in NBA history. 5 years, $231 million, with $193 million guaranteed. It should have been a turning point and a crowning moment in his young career. They made a whole system for him to show up, and that included veterans like CJ McCollum and DeJounte Murray. They wanted him mentally and physically. They wanted him to double down, shed the excess weight, and lock in. They wanted him to lead and honor the $231 million investment. Be the monster we saw hints of the LeBron-Barkley hybrid. Zion had a choice to make, and it was not too late for him. The 2022-23 season opened with fire. Zion was playing, dominating, and smiling. The Pelicans were on fire, winning 7 straight, being a threat to teams like the Nuggets and Suns. Fans began to leave their hope on the Pelicans and their anchor Zion Williamson. Then, 2 weeks later, while simply running up the court, Zion pulled his hamstring, and that's it, season ending. The next year, 2023-24, was supposed to be different, and in some ways it was. Zion played a career-high 70 games, the Pelicans won 49, their best in the Zion era. But the public narrative refused to shift because the eye test didn't lie and Zion was not at all interested in the games that he played. In the in-season tournament semifinal, a 38-year-old LeBron James ran circles around him, dropped 30 and 3/4, and Zion just bagged 13 points. And that made the whole Pelicans team angry. CJ McCollum and other vets couldn't get through to him. His former trainer posted on Instagram his disappointment. Even the Pelicans front office admitted publicly that the summer of 2023 was the first time Zion had ever taken his career seriously. That summer was remembered not for his workouts, but for his drama. Soon the team fired his personal athletic trainer, signaling deeper issues. Still, Zion bounced back post-tournament, dropping 25 pounds and helping the team go 32-19 in their final stretch, and he only missed 5 games. It was his best version yet, but no All-Star selection, and on top of it, no respect. Then came the 2024 play-in. It was against the Lakers, and Zion literally exploded. He grabbed 40 points. Game over and the season over. That summer, Zion began a new regimen in Little Elm, Texas. He ran drills 5 days a week and cut down 270 pounds. He was coming back strong and focused, and that got the fans excited again. But all of it was just a shimmering illusion. He played 5 games, then missed 2 with tightness, then 1 more, then out for real. Today, Zion Williamson sits at a crossroads. He is a multi-millionaire, but he is also a cautionary tale, a what could have been who might never be. He has missed more games than he played, and no need to say that he's never been to the playoffs. He had everything that a player needed. A thrilling support system that included DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, a core that could win 50. He could have even made it to the Western Conference Finals, but Zion was barely there. Zion Williamson didn't kill his career with 1 bad game or 1 bare injury. He killed himself with much less enthusiasm and lethargy. He never really realized his true potential that can change the landscape of the NBA forever. He doesn't know that he has the fire to break records and make history. In the NBA, talent gives you the chance, but only discipline delivers greatness. Zion had the chance to be LeBron, to be Shaq with a handle. Instead, he might go down as the most talented what-if in league history, but only if something truly changes. Only if the next injury doesn't come. But ask any Pelicans fan and they'll tell you they've seen this movie before and they already know how it ends. So what do you think? Did Zion Williamson have had enough chances to find his true place? Let me know in the comments. Now hit that subscribe button and join the squad. From MVP robberies to GOAT arguments, if it's controversial, we're on it, so never miss a video until we see each other again.